Hey, this is Odin's Wolf Survival with Holtzman's Gorilla Survival, their Bushcraft survival knife. Now this comes in a nice box, but the similarity of names makes it sort of difficult to find if you're looking for it on Amazon. Just saying, guys, you know, you might pop off some cute little name or whatever to differentiate your models. But this is the box it came in. It comes from Amazon. And it runs in at about, I think it was a nickel shy of 130 bucks. It's 1095 high carbon steel, so yes, as it says, it will rust if not properly maintained. And how to sharpen, well, everybody does theirs a little different. I've been in this a little bit, just to make sure everything was here. I have a heavy Kydex sheath and the lock, belt lock, multi-positional. These things are, you either like them or you hate them. Pop it open. The nice thing about it is you can slip it into your belt without getting half undressed to close it up. Pop it open, you can swap this around, change position on it, which I'm guessing with a couple of the screws. Take these screws out with the enclosed Allen wrench. Okay, not an Allen wrench. These are set in with Phillips screws. So yes, this does work. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea considering. This is your loop for your fire steel, which this comes with, which is not a bad little fire steel at all, actually. That's pretty good size. Looks to be 5/16. Drop it straight in, drop that over the top, that way it don't go bouncing out as you're flouncing around the woods doing your thing. The striker, which has little matching inserts for the colors of the knife, and this one I got was green. I'm not a big fan of the orange. It pops in kind of nice. I think you can tighten up the retention on this just a little bit. Yeah, you can. Kydex is kind of cool, but I still like leather. Just me. Okay, this is the knife. Granted, these finger tabs are cut with somebody with smaller hands than mine in mind. Alright, it comes in with a plastic cover over the edge, as they said it will rust. And it looks to be coated in some sort of anti-rust, which I would say is either a light grease or Vaseline. The edge is good, right out of the box. Oh yeah. It pops hair right out of the box. That's always good. I've had some knives that came in that were dull as crap right out of the box, and that's never a good sign. 6 1/4 inch blade, 11 inches overall. A little thinner than some of the others, which is kind of handy. I like a little thinner blade myself. You know, I don't always have to be prying open car doors and things along that line with it. Most of the time I just want to use it for normal stuff. This is 1095. High carbon steel, which is pretty fair steel. It's, let's see, where's the balance? The balance sits, yeah, it gives it a little, the balance sits back a little further. I would lighten up the handle if I could, because I like my balance usually right in about here. The balance is sitting in about here. That's why it's got kind of a different feel to it. And they got the balance right around your finger insert, which gives it almost a no, it's quick, but it gives it an odd feel. For most of the balance of knives I've got, I usually run them right about just in front of the guard a bit. Gives a little weight forward, that way you can feel it. It's, I don't know, it's different. I don't dislike it, it's just different than what I'm used to. And I think if you're going to cut, you know, heavy cut or chopping with it, it'll be to the detriment, because like I said, the balance is back, so that throws your weight usage off a little bit. And the sweet spot on this should be in here if you're cutting. Well, let's go see what it'll do. This is the knife in the sheath. Everything seems to lock up pretty good. It's tight in the sheath. Doesn't move, doesn't rattle. That's always a good thing. Yeah, it makes no noise whatsoever. That's a big plus. So it fits really tight. Positive grab on the sheath when you pop it out. It doesn't come out overly difficult, but yet it holds it in there. Now, let's see how this will, see what this will do. Okay, the strap isn't in place and the knife doesn't shake out. Big plus. Granted, a knife isn't an axe, but let's see what it does. This is red cedar, and it's dry red cedar. See what I mean about the balance back? It doesn't chop quite as well as it would, but need to get a bit of a piece of this dry crap to test the other part of the knife. Okay. It works, but for me, because the balance is back a little further than what I'm used to, it makes it a little more difficult because the balance is centered around your finger instead of up here, which throws a little more weight forward on the tip. Good. This is Osage. Hard Osage, and you can hear it. Okay, tips held up good. That's a big good thing. No nicks down the edge, no broken point. Good so far. I like that. Okay, around here, red cedar, we don't have birch, we don't have pine for fat wood. What we have is red cedar, which is kind of probably not as good as either one, but it's not bad at all. It does work. So if you peel off some of this outer bark, this is laying under the grass and it was nice and dewy, so this is where we'll get a test on my ability. If my voice sounds a little off, I'm getting over my third bout of COVID, which really, that shit's getting old. Okay, now we're getting into, see where all that finer crap's coming out of there? What I'll usually do, You want fibers fluffed up as small as you can get them. And that'll usually, if the knife is of lesser quality, that right there will roll that edge pretty nicely, and it didn't. No burr, still sharp. Owie, it's taking hair. Okay, still good. All right, now we're down to, we got basically the tender ball. Well, not a tender ball, but we've got the, I'm not setting up the grass because I'm not going to build a big fire, but if this gets lit up, then we know it's all good. All right. Nice tight fit. That way you don't have to worry about it popping out in the field. I would run a small lanyard from this hole over to the shot cord with 95 cord or something along that line, just in case that you do pop this out. It's not very likely, but as we all know, Murphy's kind of a buttweed. All right, we gotta scrape the black off. No point in taking your scrapings and putting it anywhere else, because this is where you're gonna want the fire. Now we're getting some good sparks going. I saw some down in there. And there's fire. Like I said, this stuff is a lot damper than what it looks like. Like I said, the grass is really dewy, so this is wet, and you can tell when it was coming off it was a little damp yet. But perfect conditions don't a test make. It worked. You could get a fire going with it. Your technique sometimes has to change just a little bit, but it does work. This is the Holtzman's Gorilla Survival, or Bushcraft, Holtzman's Gorilla Survival Bushcraft Survival Knife. Okay, what I'd like to see on this is some jimping up in here, so you can go thumb forward without too much of a hassle, without the slippage. On the clip point, You can see it's got a big flat. Cut in a 30-degree grind on it and bring it up sharp. It won't have quite the edge that well, but at least you'll have a sharp clip. And the balance point for me would be good right about here. But that all depends on what you're looking for. That is an 11-inch knife, so that would set it up rather nicely right there. And just in case you lose your scraper for the fire steel, because the fire steel is held in there, put a 90-degree cut on these so you can run your fire steel if you need to, or a spot back here.